Hey, thank you so much for joining us for another daily devotion. We are extremely late getting this one out. We almost missed it. You almost thought the streak was coming to an end, but yet we have this hope, and I just wanted to share it with you. It's from 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13. It says, "Be on your guard, stand firm." And listen to the rest of it. It says, "Stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong." I think this is an incredible, encouraging verse for us in this day to know this, that we need to be on our guard. We can see all around us that things are not always right, things are not always easy. The enemy is active, he is using all different types of means and strategies to try to divide us, to try to discourage us, to try to get um, in our lives and become strongholds, develop strongholds in our lives that would cause us either one, to be so prideful that we would not call out to the Lord, or two, that we would think the Lord has forgotten us, that He has forgotten our struggles or our temptations or the trials that we're walking through. And so I just want you to right now just think about how you can be on your guard. Like, what do you need to be on your guard from? Because here's what we know is that in Genesis 3, it says that the enemy is more crafty than all the other creation. And he is crafty in that he knows our weaknesses, but he also knows our strengths. And sometimes the enemy is so crafty that he can play and come in against our strengths. You see this in the life of Samson, for example, where he's so strong and Satan plays on that and causes him to have great pride and all this kind of stuff that leads him down a broken road. He does this in the life of one of Elijah's servants, where suddenly then he comes back trying to uh, pursue what the world has to offer, and then he's struck with leprosy. You see, and that's after Naaman is healed. You see it over and over again. And so I would just encourage you to be on your guard, both in those areas that you're weak, but also those areas that you're strong. Be on your guard for those areas in this world that don't make sense right now. And how is the enemy using that to cause you to disobey the Lord? For example, if you lose your hope, if you lose your joy, if you start to worry, if you start to hate your enemy instead of loving your enemy because of all the things that are happening in today's world, then you're walking away from the Lord. And so be on your guard, be alert, stand firm in the faith. And that's the next thing is he doesn't say just be on your guard, but he says stand firm in the faith. Remind yourself of the gospel every day. Today, I had the opportunity to be with some old friends who constantly remind me of the goodness of the faith and the freedom in the faith. And man, it was just so refreshing to be around them. And the interesting thing is, the reason I was around them is because I was at a funeral for one of their family members. But when I saw Josh and Alex Posby, there was just this sense that they love the Lord, they pursue the Lord. And even as Josh spoke about the death of his father, he directed people to the Lord and reminded them of the Lord's goodness and the Lord's love. And I think that's exactly what this passage means, is to stand firm in the faith, even when the world doesn't make sense to us. I was reminded earlier this week, and I shared this with our staff, that somebody asked Adrian Rogers what Adrian Rogers would say about today, and her response was this: that it's getting gloriously dark out there, and he would call us to live as the light. And when people say that the world is what in the world is happening, where in the world is all this headed? And he would say it's headed right to Christ. It's headed right to Jesus. And so we have to know this, that we stand firm in the faith. He warned us that there would be days like this. He told us that these days would be coming. So we stand firm. We love our neighbor well. We stand firm in the faith. We're on guard. But also this, be courageous and be strong. Know this, that God has not abandoned us. He is with us. He loves you. And I pray that even in the middle of whatever you're going through, even in the middle of the struggle, even in the middle of hardship, that you would be courageous, that you would be strong. Here behind me, you see a poster, and it's Michael Jordan, and it says in big letters, "I failed," and it talks about how many times he missed game-winning shots. You know, we think about all the times he made those, but he talks about all the times he missed those. And the quote says at the end of it, he says, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and this is why I succeed. I want to remind you that failure in his event is it's not a person. And so if you walk through seasons of failure and where you feel like you've just missed game winning shot after game winning shot, I would encourage you to be courageous, be strong, do not give up, because we know this, that the Lord lives in us. And he never promises that everything's going to go like we expect it to, but we have to have the mindset, and by the Holy Spirit we can, by His strength we can, that we have learned to be content in every circumstance. So I just want to encourage you with this verse tonight. I know it's late. I know you may not watch it till tomorrow, but we just want to encourage you. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be encouraged tonight. We love you. Thank you so much.